the worst date that I've ever had starts with a relationship prior to that. I decided to take a break with my boyfriend at the time, and we were taking a little time apart. You know, we're in college, okay, let's take a little time. No problem, no biggie. And we had set this date, okay, I don't remember how long it was, 2 or 3 weeks. We're like, okay, so we're gonna have this date, we're gonna come back together, we're gonna have this great date, and see how it goes. And so I am freaking out about this date. I am so excited. I'm with all my college roommates. They're helping me pick out outfits, they're letting me clothes. I'm like primping for so long to go on this date. And I can remember the dress that I wore, like it's burned in my brain, everything about it. And he was gonna pick me up in his car outside of my apartment. And so the time finally comes, and he pulls up in the, out front of the building. So I come down, and I'm really excited. I'm like running down the stairs, my heart is pounding, and I get in the car, and the second I get in the car, my stomach just falls out. Like the pit of my stomach drops, like you're on a roller coaster, right? And you drop and your heart comes out through your mouth, that kind of feeling. And I was like, something's wrong, right? Just like immediate, I will never forget that. It was like, this isn't, there's something wrong here. And so I couldn't quite figure out quite what it was, so I'm sitting in the car, and we're driving, we're gonna stop at his house, and so I started just kind of feeling like worse and worse as we're driving, and we finally get to his house, and I'm like, it's not it. Like, this is not where I wanna be. I can't really describe a lot of things wrong. Like, there was nothing really wrong, but it was a deep internal emotional feeling. And I had to trust that gut instinct. And so we ended up breaking up on the date. That was what happened after we got to his house. And I learned a lot about like really trusting my instincts, because when people would ask me about it, I could never really explain what happened. They would say, well, what happened? What was wrong? And I was like, I really don't know. It's just not right now. And we went through our lives and spent some time apart. It was like the hardest thing I've ever had to get through. I mean, that was the worst day ever. And figured it out, kind of got through it, spent another 2 years, like, trying to figure out what I needed and where I was. And then it comes back around to the best date of my life, where he calls me up, and he had just had surgery, so I was like, hey, come, why don't you come visit? You know, I'm getting out of surgery, I can't do much, let's like sit and watch TV. And he shows up at my door and comes in, and we end up watching some really stupid movie. I don't really remember what it was, but we're sitting on the couch, and he just kind of like reaches over and grabs my hand, and it was like we were in high school again, and it's just like, oh, let's just hold hands during this movie. And we watched the movie, talk a little, catch up, we hadn't really talked too much, and so as we're leaving, I'm like seeing him to the door, and he like leans in and kisses me, and I was like, oh, that's what I was looking for that whole time, and we've been married for 8 years. 8 years. We've been together for 8 years, married for 4, so outstanding. Thank you.